Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Weber State Esports. We've got a really exciting match for you tonight, folks. As you can see on your screen, this is the NECC Finals, where Weber State Esports is up against the University of British Columbia Gold.
This is like a really excited matchup. It's actually surprisingly enough, it's actually the 5 and 6 seed that made it to finals. Weber State being the 6 seed, and them being the 5 seed. So it's actually like some big upsets happened earlier in the bracket. Us taking down Texas A&M White, the 2 seed last week in Game 7 to get here, and then they actually had a pretty easier, quote unquote, easier side of the bracket where the 8 seed took down the 1 seed and they were able to take them down in a 4-1 fashion. So it should be a great matchup here. I was looking at some of the ranks, very high lobby once again. Most of the guys on the other team were like 1600 and up. I think there's a couple 1800 SSL players, so like some really high lobby. I'm expecting some mechs to come out today, so it should be a great game.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, once you reach finals, folks, as many of you have probably known from seeing other finals in both Rocket League and esports, once you make it here, it doesn't really matter who is what seed or how. Both teams have proven that they deserve to be here, so it just comes down to how they can perform today. I'm really excited about it. Of course, we've got a really fun week while we're waiting. We've got a really fun week ahead for the entirety of our esports section. We've got our Rocket League finals, of course, happening right now. Tomorrow, we have a third-fourth decider for our junior varsity League of Legends team. And on Friday, we have our finals for League of Legends as well. So, frankly, it's going to be a action-packed week to wrap up this semester.
I'm so excited for this game. Like I mentioned, both of our 2 last games we went to 7. So I'm kind of hoping we don't go to 7 today. I'm hoping we just get that clean win. But statistics and the history has shown that Weaver State's gonna go to 7. We're gonna give us everyone a heart attack, and then they're gonna close out.
Yeah, that's been their style so far, and they've done it against, again, technically on paper, higher seeded teams. But who knows, right? When finals come around, all sorts of things can happen. I've seen teams pull out crazy strategies at the last possible second, which again, hopefully is not a game 7. I agree with you. I'd love to see Weber close it out pretty easily, but I'm also a big fan of great games where both teams show exactly what they've got. Either way is fine. You'll notice, of course, that we've got a small delay here. We should be jumping in the game fairly soon, with any luck, probably in the next few minutes, but we appreciate you for bearing with us, as this is a game worth waiting for.
It looks like we're just waiting for the other team to set up the lobby. Usually, sometimes you gotta get in. You gotta make sure like the connection, the ping's gonna be good. You don't want like a laggy server, especially in a final. You don't want to be like anyone disconnecting or anything. Especially recently even in like RLCS, there's been some problems recently. So I'm sure they're really just checking to make sure it's a good server before we get in.
Yeah, I don't blame them at all, right? Like you said, you really want every possible second to matter in this finals. It's also the time, of course, where teams like to sit down, maybe have a pep talk or two, say, hey, this is it. Let's rally our spirits. Let's get ready to give it our all. So, of course, I'm totally willing to let both teams figure it out, take the time that they need, and deliver the best series they possibly can. Not only for their own sake, so that win or lose, both teams can walk away saying that that was a good final, but also for the sake of you all watching and us here, so that it can be a fun esport to watch for tonight.
And today I'm really looking to CRF. He's kind of been the standout player for me for the past couple games. It's been his either, I think not this last game, but the 2 week, or at this point 3 weeks ago, because we had a break for Thanksgiving. But 3 weeks ago, it was his goal in Game 7 overtime to win us the sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. To win us the game, it was his moment in Game 7. So it looks like we're finishing up some minor technical difficulties. It looks like maybe a logo might have got.
Yeah, it looks like a potential mishap from our issue here. My apologies, folks. Looks like the Weber State logo might actually be, not the Weber State, sorry, the UBC logo is actually a little different for their end. We might have accidentally used the blue logo, so just a moment, folks. We should get that fixed momentarily. In the meantime, again, thank you for waiting for us. The game should be starting soon-ish, as again, both teams just making sure everything's working and has things going while we fix the issues here on our end as well.
And looking forward, if you just love Rocket League and you want to watch more, there's actually RLCS is starting back up this Friday, so there should be some great like professional games you can watch on top of watching the Weaver State Rocket League team. Fortunately, this is the final, so we might not see more Weaver after this. And it looks like we're getting it fixed in a moment. So we should be heading into the game in about a minute here now.
Yeah, very, very excited about this going down. So it looks like players are getting ready to go in just a moment, folks. Of course, once again, thank you for being with us. Lobby looks like it has been made, and I believe we should have the proper logo fix here. It might not look the best. I didn't have time to prep it perfectly, folks, but thank you for bearing with us because, again, ultimately, we want to make sure we're representing the enemy team as best as we can. So one moment here. All right, folks, and just like that, I believe we've got ourselves our first game coming up here. As, yep, looks like we're already in, actually. The changing of the logos has got to wait now as we're jumping right in. 20 seconds passes. We're 4 minutes, 40 seconds, and the players are going for it. Already the ball, mostly on Weber's side. You can see that they are on the orange side. They're the away team for today.
And it looks like actually no one's going to take it back on the defense. And it looks like Rivers is playing as number 5 today, just for anyone confused.
Yeah, so we've got ourselves some potential goal attempts here as Rivers going for the push here. Vertigo also trying to go for a good attempt. Okay, let's see if they can keep it up.
CRF beats one to the backboard. He gets bumped off the ball. Vertigo's going to send it away. Absolutely no one. He's going to keep the pressure. He sends it middle to Rivers. He's going to get dunked by Benji the other way. CRF's going to be there. He gets a big 50 in the corner. He's going to get another 50. Rivers is going to turn to take ball. He gets it by one. CRF could have a shot. Did he get, big demo by, is it Vision? I can't exactly see with it moving, but big demo there to relieve the pressure.
I believe it's Vision, not 100% sure, but either way, we'll figure it out as the match goes on. We've got plenty of time to get comfortable with both these teams and all of our players, of course, as a decent goal attempt from Absolute. I don't think it would have gone in, but still a good push away from Vertigo, just trying to deny all of that momentum. We've seen a lot recently, especially in Weber's games. The momentum has been a big deal for both them and enemy teams, so trying to keep plays up and make sure they don't drop their momentum is really important. Benji in a cool position here, trying to push around, but UBC Gold ultimately hasn't found like insane control of the ball. Usually they seem to be mostly ahead. That being said, there's a maybe good find down the center there as absolutely no one's forced to push it away.
And absolutely no, he's gonna try to get another 50. Keeps it midfield, big 50. CRF's gonna be able to get the ball. He actually leaves the boost, it seems. He's just gonna get a 50 middle. Rivers can't quite get an angle on it. He's gonna send it middle though. Once again, he's just kind of controlling, kind of testing the waters. Nothing too crazy right now.
All right, now we've got Benji pushing across the way. CRF getting a good tap away, actually, not just trying anymore, as absolutely no one maybe in a good position to block this. Nice pushback. Again, the ball's just sort of flying back and forth over and over again. A couple decent goal attempts have come through, but none insane, right? None of these goal attempts have really felt like they've been game determinative yet or blocked. So Vision goes for a decent double demo there, which is insane. We were really on the back foot for a couple seconds, but it looks like they won't be punished for it by too much.
You know, absolutely no one. He got a must-needed touch right there, being last back. He is able to get that clear, and he gets a big clear the other way. Now Rivers, or CRF here to collect. He's going to pop it, but Vision's there to pop it. Rivers there up. This is I don't know what I'm seeing here, but I've seen like the names change on the thing, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, of course, there's not much we can do about that. I believe it seems to be a Rocket League side thing. I know you mentioned that the servers are having some weird things. There's a bit of a weird tap. Oh, that ball probably should have gone in, but ultimately Benji not quite finding the angle. Still a good attempt, though.
And we've got a rule 1 there. I believe that's CRF, and I don't know who on the other team. But we got a rule 1, so it's a 2v2 now. Absolutely no one's going to try to get a flip reset. Can't get it over Vertigo. Rivers is there in midfield. He's low boost, though. Could be awkward. Vertigo has space. Could set up a shot. Can't quite get around it though. Absolutely no one gets a 50 the other way. Rivers is gonna. He waits to see if he can block the shot, but he misses. Rivers there to claim on the other end.
Players adapting quickly to the rule 1, trying to make sure that they keep the ball's pressure up. It's more important to stay on a ball for longer, obviously, when there's only 2 of you, because if you drop it and your other teammate isn't in a great position, gotta be a bit careful. Rivers going for a decent push all the way up. Benji's in a great position to push away, but ultimately had to use a lot of their boost for it, and absolutely no one still has most of theirs.
I know that this rule 1's really going to completely change the game because in 2v2 you're going to get a lot more space on time on the ball, and we're going to see more mechanics like that. Like he opens up a flip reset trying to get it around one, so we should see more mechanics open up with this 2v2.
Well, I've usually been very impressed with Weber's mechanics, so I think that could favor them. Of course, we haven't seen a ton of games from UBC Gold, so they have plenty that they could absolutely surprise Weber with. Weber has to be careful as Vertigo and Benji both going for an interesting tap. I think a little bit of a fake out that they thought Benji was going to the ball, but Rivers gets the push away. And with 44 seconds left, this 2v2 situation has really come down to the wire, I would say. Neither team having scored a goal means that a single one is what it comes down to.
And historically, we've seen in games with Weaver, they like to play games really close, and it seems most of the time it's one goal that wins this first game before more goals open up in a big demo attempt, and he's able to get Rivers to jump off the wall, and Vertigo's able to go under him for the first goal.
Wow, insanely good angle there. Nice find, especially because Benji, just like you said, going for that tap, that demo attempt. Either way, it forced Rivers to respect it a bit much and then had to give it up. So now we're going in with 25 seconds left to potentially a game determinative point there. Maybe UBC Gold can just close this out from here, but it depends on if Weaver can find the reverse goal quickly.
Yeah, and Weaver's going to need to do something quick with 15 seconds and time winding down. They're going to have to go all in to get that tying goal to go to overtime.
Siref maybe, oh no, it looks like a couple members of Weaver backing away here. Siref trying to go for the tap up, but doesn't find the angle. That being said, a decent push means that it could go in the right position. Not quite, and with 2 seconds left, the ball cannot touch the ground, and otherwise the game ends immediately. So all they have to do is knock it downwards. Absolutely no one trying to keep it up, but UBC Gold should be in a much better position here. There it is, and game 1 will go over to UBC Blue.
And that was like I mentioned, that's the Weaver way. They like to play these early games really close to really test the waters before they really start opening up. I am a little worried because historically we've always won the first game, so this is makes me a little nervous seeing that loss. But I'm from what I've seen in the past, we've seen Weaver bounce back from these games and these losses. So it looks like maybe we're getting some car switches or something. It looks like they're getting in now, so we should be back into game 2 right now.
Looks like there it is, as you call it. Pretty exciting stuff, folks. Game 1 was pretty, I would say, uneventful for a lot of it. Of course, it was back and forth, but ultimately an immediate demo here from Rivers means that maybe Weaver can find their way back into their footing on this match. So far, Siref and Rivers going for a nice 2-play, back and forth there, trying to find the goal. Won't find it as Vizion taps it far away, has no boost, so won't be able to push it much further. We'll need some assistance from a teammate. That being said, Rivers in a phenomenal position here, and Benji using all their boost to do it. Oh, I like the double play there from Weaver, and the triple play ultimately, as every single member of Weaver assists in that goal.
And if you watch this, absolutely no one actually goes. He goes early, pre-jumps the pass, and Benji has to jump up to respect that and cover the angle. And because he wasted so much boost to get it, the ball's just floating there, and CRF is able just to get in there and slot the finishing.
Well, complete inverse of the last game. The only point so far to Weaver, and already a quick point as well, right? At this point in the game, we were just joining in game 1, and here we are. Immediately a more bloody game. Rivers maybe in a good position again. Can't quite find the angles. A great push away from Vizion should do enough to keep UBC Goals from losing another point here.
I'm really liking the pressure I'm seeing from Weaver early on in this game. If we can keep this pressure, I could see this game easily blowing out of proportion and Weaver taking like a 5-0 game here.
Yeah, that would be very impressive, to be honest with you. But there it is, unfortunately, a small caster curse from us here, it seems. But of course, that's fine, right? I'm totally okay with a much more aggressive game. I usually tend to like those more, as opposed to the very quiet one-point games. But either way, it's fun. So far, 1-1 seems to be leaning toward the ladder, folks.
Yeah, and Benji just, with all that space, you know, in these high-level lobbies, if you leave that backboard open, they're going to score that double tap like 9 times out of 10. So you really got to respect the double tap, and you really got to block that backboard.
All right, and here they're going for an attempt here. Benji in a good position with a lot of boost, but none of the other members of UBC Gold in a great position. Benji trying to push away, but doesn't really get the right angle for it. Just kind of deflects the momentum, which means that Weaver's still in a phenomenal place. Oh, a decent attempt from Rivers, but Vizion gets the gentle tap away. Still, it's this aggression from Weaver that you talked about. They seem to always be in a more favored position. Occasionally, UBC Gold finds the angle to push it away, but this game has heavily been in their favor. Ooh, that being said,
and we've seen this great aggression, but they haven't had too many great shot attempts. And what's happening is with this aggression, they're leaving one person back on defense right there. CRF getting a big save to send it away. So the biggest thing I need to see is I need to see them be a little more cautious on the double commits and not leaving someone back alone on defense.
Yeah, that's usually something that we've seen we would be punished for heavily, right? And UBC Gold have made it to the finals, so you know that if anyone can punish it, it's them, and there it is, exactly as you call it out. Punished immediately for going too aggressive.
Yeah, right there, it's a classic. Goes for the boost, leaves the net open. Unfortunate because he had 0 boost, so even if he just did go back, he could still just power it over him, but not a ton he could do there. But Weaver's down 1 with 3 minutes left. I'm not too worried about. I need to see a little bit more aggression, not necessarily aggression, but more quality finishes on the last third of our attack.
Yeah, with this, granted, there's still 3 minutes left, right? So 3 points in 2 minutes means a potential lot of points upcoming, folks. But it just depends on if Weaver can keep up their pressure. A decent angle there, but no one's there to follow it up, as absolutely no one was pushed away as well. CRF would have to be the one to do it, but Vertigo gently floating down with the ball. I like that idea, not trying to let it go anywhere other than his own clutches.
Absolutely no one up. Gets blocked by Benji. Rivers is there to follow up though. Can't quite get a good shot on. Seraf's gonna be blocked. Big 50 on the wall. Rivers is there to chase it down. Catches it. Goes up the wall. He sets himself up. He has a little bit of space. He gets it around one. Does not quite have the bullseye, but he just sneaks it in. They weren't ready for the direct shot.
Nice goal there from Rivers. Honestly, I was about to, well, I still will compliment UBC Gold for doing very well on making sure that these plays are awkward for Weber to line up. And Rivers there, as you can see, did not find a nice, clean angle. He barely snuck it in the corner there. So really well played from Weber. They're going to have to keep doing that because I'm impressed with Gold's ability to just deflect angles, right? They're not really going for these insane push-away plays. They're calm, they're patient, and they'll just bleed you out of control.
And right there, that solo play we saw from River, I think I want to see more of that in these games. That's not something we see a ton. We do see solo plays and stuff every once in a while from Weaver, and usually that's where we get most of our goals. So I'm like hoping we see some more. I'm hoping Rivers really wakes up and takes over the series.
Yeah, I agree. Weaver's much more of a hero play team, right? They have good coordination, certainly, but each one of their players can absolutely find these insane plays. And we've seen both CRF and absolutely no one have crazy games over the last couple series. So maybe it's Rivers' turn. So far, it's looking that way as Rivers going for a decent tap up, but the ball is in UBC Gold's control pretty strongly, and a beautiful attempt from Benji will score another point.
And right there, Rivers can't quite get the touch he wants. I think he wanted to send that more to the corner to CRF so he could collect. Can't quite attest. Absolutely no one has to try to just get up, get a hand to the ball, can't get anything, and then he's able to shoot it low, and CRF is up high on the wall so he can't get down to it.
Looks like the prophecy is true, folks. A minute and a half roughly left, and a 3-2 game. Both teams have decided that, hey, they want to put on a show for finals, so strap in, folks. As an insane immediate goal is scored in the first 10 seconds of that match, that's another, kickoff goal almost from Weber. They've done that several times in the last couple months.
Yeah, no, they have really great offensive pressure right off the kickoff. And right there, it kind of threw them off because usually we've had the two-man go for it at the beginning, and then when they stop it, the third man waits, and right there, absolutely no one calls him out. He presses and is able to get that shot, and they weren't ready for it.
I feel like Weber has really turned up the insane high-speed plays, right? Once again, 3 members going aggressive, no one on the defense in a great position. Of course, Rivers is in a better position now, but still, you see him run all the way across the map again, saying, hey, the best thing we can be doing is hyper offense.
And absolutely no one's going to take it off the wall. Gets dunked by Vizion. CRF's going to be there to collect on the backboard. He's going to send it a long way. Vertigo's there to collect, though, but CRF, right back to CRF, he's going to send it away again.
I like CRF's pathing there a lot. He took, I believe, both of the full boosts in the back line, but an insane angle from Vertigo. A gentle pass over from Benji, so really well played from UBC Gold.
And it was a big demo there by Vertigo, he actually demos absolutely no one before turning around to take that shot. I was surprised. I was confused because I was like, who was there? But he actually gets demoed. So we've seen a lot of demo plays coming out. So I want to see what Weber has to respond to these demo plays.
Yeah, the threat on Weber's physically is insane, right? They have to be very careful about their positioning, which is maybe why I think Weber's feeling more of this hyper-aggressive play, right? If you stay behind in the goal, you're always under threat of being demoed, of being blocked. But if you stay hyper-aggressive, you just never let them get those angles. You never let them set up the careful demo plays. And, ooh, they do find a beautiful block there. Well played from UBC Gold.
And Weber's going to be on the defense, and CRF's going to collect on the backboard. We need a big clear. With 30 seconds, time's winding down. We need another goal. We need another tying goal in this series. We've had 3. Can we get a 4th?
And going down 2-0 in a series is really rough. Of course, it's not the point of no return by any means, but it is very, very difficult for both your mental state and the game's match, obviously. So with 11 seconds left, Weber's got to find this angle, but a great push back from Vizion should maybe be the seal of fate from here. CRF going for maybe a bounce off the backboard, but won't find it as absolutely no one. Had to push it up the side, but a nice push down from Vizion. And that's game 2 of finals to UBC Gold, folks. Here at Weber, it's not looking too great for us, but still, I'd like to hold out hope.
Yeah, no, we've had some great pressure, like I've said, and we scored 3 goals, but they just scored 4. We're really leaving open this one man back on defense, and we've seen 2 of their goals came from like a demo, or someone was pressuring Rivers on the bump, and Rivers had to jump, and then they just were able to slot it. So the biggest thing I want to see is I want to see us lock down the defense in this next game and really just let's get a goal. Let's just hold it. Let's just sit.
Yep. As folks, looks like we're loading into our 3rd game of this best of 5. And it's already looking rough for Weber, right? You're talking about all the things they can improve on, but ultimately it just comes down to execution. You've got to be able to make these split-second plays. You've got to be able to play the offense and the defense. And oh, that's barely not going in. But of course, with that positioning, it's only the easiest tap-in of the UBC Gold's life.
And really an unlucky bouncer. It gets the initial save, but it hits the crossbar and bounces out instead of straight down, which makes it so CRF can't get it there in time, and he has to just guess where he's going to shoot it.
Yeah, you can see CRF wasn't quite expecting that. I don't think anyone on Weber was expecting that, or anyone in the game for that matter. But either way, they take full advantage of it. And another demolition from Benji. You talk about the demo plays, there is another one. Good push up into the air from Weber, but I just don't think it's enough. Real strong dominance from UBC Gold, trying to get themselves to match point. But as I say that, Weber finds another point. What an insanely high-scoring final so far.
And a good passing play for Rivers to see that passing lane down to absolutely no one. And absolutely no one, of course, he's that close to that. He's just going to slot that all day.
All right, we're 1 point per 10 seconds so far, so who knows? Maybe we'll make it all the way up to like 18 or more. I doubt it, but you never know, of course. Some insane kickoff plays been coming out, and maybe another one from Benji here, but Rivers in a good position for the first time from either team to be able to block a goal. Absolutely no one will get the clear away. Actually, maybe being able to get a really deep push here that he should not have been able to find, which resulted in an insane goal from Rivers. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I don't know if he intentionally faked this or he just missed, but it worked out really well for Weber because they were expecting that hit there. It gives Rivers the space to find this slot, and I know Rivers, and Rivers can shoot. He can shoot like no one else I've ever seen.
He's real good at it. Right now, it seems like that's what Weber's banking on. Again, another point in about 10 seconds or so. So, hey, let's keep this up and have an insane game. These fast, aggressive plays seem to be much more in Weber's favor when they can get it. So Weber needs to keep the momentum up. But that being said, an insane push all the way across the map and another point scored.
Yeah, and right there you can actually watch. Right there they see this 2v1, and they actually want to go for the demo. And CRF actually gets way aggro to cut off that demo play opportunity happening. But with that, he sees that and he does the flick over him. So that it's just once again these 2v1 situations were being left and makes it really awkward for the Weber defense.
Yeah, shout out UBC Gold. I am really impressed with their ability to immediately group up anytime they have the angle and just stick together like glue, find insane teamwork plays like you're seeing. But a potential goal attempt blocked by Benji. Good positioning from them. Looks like this will be the first time a goal isn't scored in the first 15 seconds or so. I almost bit my words there, so we'll see if it keeps going though. Vizion finally was a good clear, should prevent Weber from getting a goal, and Weber's in a fine position to prevent Gold as well. So it just comes down to, finally for the first time, a bit of a neutral game.
And CRF's there. I think he get a flip reset. He didn't use it though. Rivers is going to be the last back. He's going to have to collect. Benji up. He takes a shot. Rivers big save though. CRF's there on the back wall. He needs a big 50 here to relieve pressure. Vertigo gets a big 50 actually for the other side. Goes to demo too, and once again, a big save by CRF, but Benji's there to follow up. Once again, these demo plays, they're looking for him, and Weaver really needs to find a counter for these demo plays they keep finding.
Yeah, they haven't found the angle. They almost did as much as they could, but with all three members of UBC coming in to assist there, I mean, that's just a powerful play. Gold is so good in this finals so far, really showing that they deserve to be here, that they have earned this higher seeding in the finals, and they want to prove it all the way. Can CRF block this just barely? Otherwise, that would have been a clean goal.
And Rivers there. He gets by two. It looks like it's just an open net. Should be tie game.
All right, well, I mean, Weber's certainly no slouches. They don't want to let this go behind. When in doubt, Weber is usually an insane comeback team. We've seen them go down in a lot of best of sevens and come back as a nail biter. So see if that can continue, but I don't know. So far, again, despite the fact the score is even, the match score is heavily in favor of Gold. And if that affects the mental too much, it will be rough. Another demo play gained. In fact, another demo that I don't even think that was necessarily intentional, but either way, really well done.
And even these little demos, like over time, when you keep getting demo, it can start tilting you like, oh my gosh, they're going for another demo. It can get on your mental. So really, Weber keeping that aware of that and not getting triggered by these. And a big 50 by Seraph. Can he get another? Can't quite get around. Rivers is going to be last back once again, 2-on-1, while the rest of Weber rushes back.
And so far, I would say the only thing we haven't seen UBC Gold tested in is their mental, right? They have been firmly in control for all of these games, other than a point or two here and there, but they usually answer fast. So right now, Weber needs to stay strong, begin a mount comeback, or else UBC Gold will continue to sweep this. They're doing very well. As another push on the side, a potential team play that was being set up won't go anywhere. As Benji going for a good play, but a good pop-up means that maybe absolutely no one can tap it just right there and push it away. But again, Vizion in the right position to catch it. Finally, for the first time in a while, no one immediately on the ball as it stalls for a moment.
Weaver's on low boost is offered. Rivers gets a good pass down to absolutely no one though. Is able to clear a little bit of the pressure, but there's still low. Seraph needs a big clear and he gets it. He's low boost. He gets a wave dash to stay on the ball. Now Rivers has boost to collect in the midfield.
A lot of players on both teams, they're running out of all of their resource. They just need to back up, make sure that they could get some boost, and maybe Weber can find another goal here, and actually they will. An insane push by from absolutely no one. I think he just barely snuck it by there.
And now this time we're actually seeing the opposite, where now Weaver's playing a little more defensive, and they're catching UBC Gold off their line.
It seems like anytime one of these teams goes too aggressive, they inevitably get punished for it. So far, I think Weber leading for the first time, not the first time, they were up a point before, and it didn't work out for them that way. So maybe they can keep it up this time as potential push forward. Is CUF in a great position here? Oh, a good block from Benji. I am shocked that didn't go in, but well played to goal.
Yeah, what a read by Benji. He actually pre-jumped that and was out of boost, so he was just hoping it would get to him, and he actually luckily reads it to get the save. He keeps them in this game. A minute left. Weaver just really needs to lock down the defense for a minute and win this game. This will be the biggest game for them tonight, I think.
Of course, with British Columbia, no slouches in scoring points, so despite the fact that they are behind, I think they could easily find an angle here with a great push back. Rivers with a good pass forward again. It's not the right angle to score a goal, but still a phenomenal position for Weaver to be in.
And Rivers, he tries to actually get the bump there. Can't quite get it. Absolutely no one's going to be there to collect. Try to get a 50, keep it in the corner.
Some cheeky plays from absolutely no one. Hits it aggressively at the wall to get a rebound off, so it's not in a good position for British Columbia. Now he's trying to help keep it in the air so that CRF can go for the play. As Weber gets their first, I would say, aggressive demo of the game. Really liking to see them switch up their strategy and adapt to the play.
And this time we're throwing them off now. It's our turn for the demos. A big clear down the other way. Vertigo has to get a touch here. Could have just snuck in, but he'll hold strong.
Still, British Columbia not being too afraid. Honestly, I would say they're still doing very well, but another demo from absolutely no one means that actually, for the first time in a while, UBC's goal is wide open and CRF finds the goal.
And right here you see why people demo, because when you clear that, they're expecting, I don't know who got demoed, but they're expecting him to rotate that front post, and he would have been right there, but that big demo just opens up that space. Weaver up 2 goals with 23 seconds left. It's looking like Weaver's going to take this game.
All right, this would be Weber's first game of the series, game 3 going to them, which is huge, right? Going down to match point can do so much for the mental of the enemy team and your own. As a demo looks like, oh no, it was a goal attempt from absolutely no one. I thought there might have been a demo in the background, but Benji with no boost can't really keep the ball where he wants it to be, and Vertigo has to go for an insane block, but because they spent all that time just trying to save their own points, they're going to run out of time to score anything on their own. It would have to go in right now, and unfortunately it will not for UBC Gold. So folks, Weber takes the first point in our NECC finals.
And that's actually so big. Going down 3-0 in a series is so hard to come back. To reverse sweep a team is so hard, especially a team this good. So that's a massive win for Weaver, and I'm hoping we see the same thing. We see that aggression early, we see some goals, we get ahead, and then we sit back on defense, let them push, let them get over aggressive, and steal some goals to win the game.
Yeah, so let's see if Weaver can turn around this momentum. Again, obviously reverse sweeping is hard, but it's also just as hard to come back from being 3-1 or 3-2, right? They need to keep the momentum. Tying up the series here would be phenomenal for them. We've seen British Columbia deny them time and time again, though, in this final so far, and I think they can absolutely do it again. I'm really impressed with British Columbia's play. So it's up to Weber to show that they can be better right now. I think the pressure is on them.
And there was a big commit there. They're low boost. CRF could get a big 50 here. Rivers is there to follow up. Gets beat by Vertigo, actually. Vertigo is now going to control. Big air dribble. Gets over one, but Rivers is there to clear it away.
Really good play from Vertigo there. I am impressed. It's a good thing that Weber's in the good position to block that, otherwise that would have been a clean goal. Still a great play from Vertigo. Some of the fancy dribbling and ball control has clearly been in favor of British Columbia. They're doing insane with ball control. That being said, CRF popping it way up, and unfortunately, no one and Weber in a great position to block this other than absolutely no one. But it's in a weird angle, so I think that should be a goal that does not go in, actually. The side of the goal, the post being right in the worst place.
And the post being our 4th man of the match in this game, pops straight back out, which is not a bounce you see too often in Rocket League. CRF's going to be in midfield. He's going to be able to... Rivers actually is the one that goes up. CRF's low boost, but he's able to get the save.
What a strange game so far. We're a minute and 15 seconds in and no one scored a goal? What is this, the first game? I mean, either way, if it is the first game all over again, we know that British Columbia likes these long drawn-out games, right? In the first game, they were able to play carefully but maintain control and eventually score a goal when Weber slipped up. But as I say that, Weber actually, the first team to find the angle there.
Yeah, once again, they're really getting British Columbia. They're getting really aggressive here, and once again, he just sees the open end, just sends it the long way, sends it to that far post, and he can't get back in time, and it's a goal. Weber up 1-0.
All right, well, that's about a third of the match's time away, a little bit more before it is officially a third, and we were already off to a good space. But maybe a kickoff play once again going in their favor. We've seen Weber do this a few times. You can't underestimate them on the kickoff. They have these insane angles.
And yeah, what a big kickoff by CRF. He gets by 2, then gets the demo on the last man back and scores the goal. What a play.
Yeah, the heights of CRF as a player are really high, folks. I'm glad you get to see it if you haven't seen any of the games until our finals here. Very excited to continue to hopefully watch some more plays from them. They've been incredible all season, and if Weber State wants to win finals, I think they need to keep it up.
Benji's gonna pop it middle. Doesn't have a ton of boost to do anything with it. CRF's gonna pop it middle. Oh, but a big demo. Rivers has to send it the long way. He sends it up high. Vizion's gonna send it to the corner.
Yeah, I think Vizion knew that he could go for the ball more aggressively, but he'd rather just save his boost, wait for Weber to use it, pushing it in, and then have a better position overall. Being said, Rivers ends up finding the better position at the end of the day. Goes for technically a goal attempt, as the game says, but it wasn't really that close. It was just a good position. CRF going for a really weird angle there, and it actually goes in. I just think Benji wasn't ready to pop it away.
Yeah, and it looks like Benji, and a thing you say a lot, you want to tell players, you want to rotate into the net, and Benji rotates and doesn't go in the net. He goes in front of it, and it just goes right on top of his head. Can't quite react in time, and it just goes into the net. We were up 3-0. This is a big game for Weber.
Yeah, folks, I don't know how to say this other than maybe pressure starting to get to UBC. We'll see if they can pull it back, but so far 3-0 in this game. It'd be really hard to find the points. Always possible. Again, British Columbia, a really good team, and they've shown they can get a lot of points really fast in previous games.
And I really want Weber just a big bump there on the other end, but Vizion's not able to get the shot off. And Weber's going to go the other way. Rivers now on that ball. Can't quite get it around one. Absolutely no one, big 50, but it's sent long way. And Vertigo's already up, but he can't get to it.
Yeah, seeing Weber play a bit more defensive would be nice, in my opinion. As Benji goes for a great demo, but maybe the first time in a while a demo actually isn't capitalized on. Is absolutely no one got a good push away there.
And I really want to see the defensive from Weber just hold strong, because we've seen Weber's a really good defensive team. And now that they're up 3-0, I just want to make sure, really don't overcommit. Just hold, let the goals that we already scored hold strong and just keep the lead.
Yeah, 3-0 is plenty to win a game. Don't fumble it now. All we have to do is be calm. And hey, again, this is huge for mentals. Unfortunately, CRF going for a hit there that does not pay off, which means that Weber's now finding themselves in an awkward position, especially with a demo there from Vizion. A great play, but absolutely no one sneaks it just barely over Benji. Vertigo blocks it, but still, that might have been a play that saved Weber from losing a point there.
Yeah, no, that was a big time waste play he got there. He got it down the whole pitch, and then he got a flipper set. He almost got it over the last man. He could have scored there, but couldn't quite get the flipper set. Rivers shot on target, but Vertigo's cleared off the goal line.
Whoa, okay, I was going to say a different point, but it does not matter. CRF finds an angle there. What was that? That was incredible. Once again, we see CRF going for an insane play. I cannot believe he found his way in.
It looks like it kind of pinches off Vision there just to go straight into the net. With a minute 20 left, this is looking like a strong statement by Weber.
I wonder if we will see Weber do more of these stall plays. I've noticed that anytime they have boost in the corner, they tend to just push the ball up and leave it there, which I like a lot, right? That stalls out 5 to 10 seconds every time you do it, and every second is what you need, right? That's all that matters right now. So we'll see if absolutely no one can just cause some chaos, push it away. CRF in a good position to block this goal. And I would say if UBC doesn't score a goal by about 45 seconds, scoring 4 points is a tall order, even for a finals team.
I know, and we've seen in the past that when Weber gets up, they really do, like you mentioned, they like to play this, like, I'm just going to boom in the corner, I'm just going to make it awkward. And an awkward big demo could be resulting in a goal where Seraph says are cleared along. Absolutely no one takes it off the corner, gets a clear midfield. Vision has to collect. He misses the boost, though, so he's going to be low. Rivers steals the boost. Now CRF's going to be back full boost to control.
Yeah, 35 seconds left and counting, and I don't think that British Columbia has much they can do. I think, honestly, the best thing you can do is just try and make some crazy play. It doesn't matter if they score another point. You know they're going to win the game. Just get some of that mental back. Make an insane play. Show that you still have absolutely that fiery spirit, that determination to win, because we know you have it, British Columbia. So don't get too down about this game. Even if it is almost 5-0, you still have plenty ahead of you. 10 seconds left. That should be game 4 to Weber.
Rivers there gets a big clear, and they might get one back, but a big save by CRF on the goal line. Weber's not letting they're keeping their clean sheet for this game.
All 3 members of Weber just coalescing on the ball. I don't believe that's the right word, but still, it's very funny to see them basically cross over each other just to deny that 1 point. So who knows, maybe on Weber's side, right? I was talking about British Columbia keeping that mental up, saying, hey, that might have been a blowout, but it's one game, whatever. to Weber, that blocking that last goal could be a huge mental boost, right? Saying that, hey, we were down 2-1, we were down 2-0 at one point, and we just beat them 4-0. We can absolutely win this final. And at this point, folks, it might as well be a best of 3. The first 2 games all tied up, just showing what the players could do. Let's see which team comes out on top.
And this is gonna be really going match point early in this series is gonna be really big. So I'm hoping to see Weber take it, and Rivers with a good shot, but gets blocked by Vertigo.
Yeah, of course, as much as we'd like to be impartial, especially because it's a big finals, we are going to be always a little biased toward Weber. We are Weber State Esports, of course. I'm just excited that we've seen such a great back and forth game. Both teams showing us everything they've got, leaving it all out in the pitch here today. As Rivers maybe trying to go for an angle, but Vertigo goes for a good push above, so it's up to CRF to get the block. Thankfully, as CRF pushes it away, Rivers in a pretty good position. Actually, absolutely no one will be the one that ends up being able to push it away. CRF gets the tap up, and Rivers, with a small amount of boost, can just continue to push it as maybe absolutely no one can find the goal, but a great block from Vertigo.
What a pass by Rivers to get it to absolutely no one to find that angle, and then absolutely no one with a great shot, but can't. A big save on the other end. CRF's to collect on defense, gets a big flick over one to beat, shoots at far corner, and it's in! CRF.
First point of this very important game goes to Weber at the 4-minute mark, just about. Oh boy, all right, I think this might be a bit more of a slower game as teams feel each other out, finally adapt fully. I think hopefully we'll see a lot of back and forth here, but I don't know. You always have to watch for the kickoff against Weber. Can they find it again? Weber's with a great push away, but Benji going for the boost on the side means that they're in a great position.
And Benji gets over one, but CRF's there on the backboard to send it to the corner. Awkward ball. Vision he gets bumped off though. Can't get the double tap. Vertigo's gonna pop it middle, set up for Benji, shoots it off crossbar. CRF's there also to keep it out.
I will say I really respect Rocket League players for being able to be comfortable saying, yeah, I might be in the goal line, but it doesn't matter as long as I can just pop it out carefully. Absolutely only got full boost here, so should be in a great position to block this, but if Benji gets a good tap, no actually misses it, and actually an insane push over by every member of Weber. CRF might be able to tap this in if they can find the angle, but Vertigo with a good aggressive push off.
And he actually gets a bump there in the corner. CRF there in the middle, but he can't quite get it. A big jump by Vision to get there, to get just a touch to make it awkward for absolutely no one. He sends it middle though, he gets a pass to CRF anyway, but Vertigo's there to cut that out.
Seems like we're seeing British Columbia go back to what they were doing the first game. UBC Gold is really good at these last couple games rather. UBC is really good about going to these demos. We've seen it a lot, and I've seen them just go for these intentional taps, these bumps often. And there is a great goal for Vertigo as the other 2 members of Weber do incredibly well at blocking the other members.
And sometimes right there, he didn't get like the power that Rivers thought he was gonna get. And sometimes that's what you gotta do. You gotta switch it up. And since he hit it slower, Rivers with low boost, he jumps early and then has no boost to recorrect to get there, and it just goes right over his head.
1-1, Rivers gets an immediate demo here. This time Weber maybe getting a couple seconds of a good play, but I don't know if they can do much. CRF goes for a tap there, and barely a goal blocked there, it looks like. A CRF gets a tap forward, absolutely with a lot of boost, and no one really in the goal post here. Benji tries the best they can, but ultimately it's a miss from absolutely no one, not a block. Well, but that being said, the follow-up from Rivers, a beautiful tap up. The ball is just stalling right in front of UBC Gold's goal. Can someone find it? No, another near miss. The ball is just dancing around the goal line, but it's not enough. And maybe Weber almost got scored on there themselves. Whew, that's got to be demoralizing if you're Weber State, and really revitalizing if you're UBC.
And the post coming in with a big save for UBC this time, helping them out. Vertigo up, he can't quite get the connection he wants. CRF's gonna have to control on the sidewall now. He has space, he tries to get over Benji, can't quite there. Rivers on the backboard, he goes early, gets the 50 he needs. Vertigo pops in middle. Vision's actually there off the back wall, but a big cutout by CRF to get that clear.
All right, this is getting really tense. 1-1 with 2 minutes left. At this point, as time ticks away more and more, every goal counts, and any snap play could be the decider for match point here. As, oh, there it almost is, but no, neither member able to find the angle, which means that now UBC's in a bit of an awkward position. Can Weber find the play that they need? Weber pops it up with a decent amount of boost to kind of carry it forward. Vertigo just has to push it straight up, and Benji has to catch.
Benji sends it down to Vision on the sidewall, tries to get it over CRF. CRF's awkward. He gets a backwards 50, not quite what he wants, but he's able to get it off the backboard and control and get boost.
A little bit of just a joint tap from multiple members of both teams there is maybe, okay, just a neutral push. The ball stays hovering in the center of the lane. However, it really is tough because it means that UBC's in a better position, and you can see anytime UBC has this team play, as long as they can stall the ball and get full control over it, Weber cannot do much to stop it.
And I think this game we've seen the most offensive from both teams. They both had moments where it looks like they might steal the game away right there, and both times the defense has, and the post I should say, has held strong for both teams this game. So it's going to be really interesting to see who is able to get that goal and get that go-ahead game.
Yeah, I can't tell whose side the map is on because it really feels like it's really rooting for both teams, just as a little bit as much as we are, right? Just saying for a good finals. But of course, we would like to see Weber close this out as maybe a good tap from CRF, but it's not really a great angle. A good demo, though, could be the difference maker. CRF gets a ton of boost from the corner as well. That means that there's a lot of awkward time for UBC goal.
And Vertigo with a big save there to get up. Absolutely no one can't quite get over it to get the shot down, but he's gonna have boost and off the wall. He's gonna try to get he gets a flip reset, he doesn't use it, goes under. Rivers there to 50 at middle.
CRF got another demo there, so another couple moments where Weber has a bit of pressure, but it looks like for the first time after the last minute or so, it will be more of a neutral play. As 15 seconds on the clock and ticking, folks, we might be going to overtime for the first time in this finals. And I would be shocked if it was the last time with how even these teams are. Let's see if either team can find the play with 5 seconds left and the ball heavily going toward the side of Weber. It looks like they're the ones in danger here. A great block, just barely from CRF. They need to get it on the ground and just they go into overtime.
What a save by CRF to hold strong and not panic jump. Big kickoff here. CRF gets by one, but Vision's there to send it the other way. Rivers needs a big 50 and he gets it.
All right, the ball kind of floating around here. And of course, folks, this time it will continue to tick up until a point is scored. So you might as well ignore everything on your screen except for the ball and the players. Just lock your eyes on the play, as I'm sure they have too. Absolutely no one has no boost in the corner here, so they can't really do much. But Rivers in a good position to just pop it really annoyingly as absolutely no one stalls the ball, prevents the push that UBC was looking for. CRF finally gets that tap away as good pressure coming through. A bounce off the wall to just center it a bit. Benji going for maybe a bit of a catch here, but Rivers still in a good position and gets the boost in the corner. Maybe Weber can find the play, and there it is, a great goal from Weber. And that's 2-1 in our 5th game of the series.
And Rivers there gets a huge 50 middle, and absolutely no one just is able to get that easy shot on net. And it looks like I don't know who was in net there. They were a little awkward, couldn't quite get up to it. And that's Weber State taking a big game 5 to go ahead in the series, heading into game 6, which is a big game to win, 4-2 in the series.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. My biased heart says I think Weber can close this out. But my objective analysis says that I think UBC could absolutely pull this back. They've had some incredible games, and just because the last few have not gone in their favor doesn't mean they're out of it. But of course, the momentum is heavily in Weber's side. Reminder that UBC was up 2-0, and then Weber won the last 3 games. So if anything, it is up to UBC to pull back the earlier dominance that they had in the series to show that those first couple games weren't just flukes, that they were incredible skill like we know they are. So let's see if they can pull it out again. I think they can. We've got to be careful.
And really, you got to think about that last game. Like, UBC had a great opportunity and they hit the post twice. So that could really start affecting their mental. Like, we could have won that game. We just hit the post. And now this game, like, if they hit another post this game, like, it's really going to start affecting them.
And of course, obviously, on the inverse of that, right? If they don't hit a post this game, then this game will be very dominant in their favor. Last game should have been up, albeit for that post, right? So let's see if the post is the enemy again, as Vision almost gets the ball in, not quite able to. The backboard again being a little funky there. No one's around to catch the ball, but with CRF getting a bunch of boost there, they should make a good play.
That was actually awkward from Benji in the middle. It looked like maybe a little bit of a panic jump, and it looks like maybe nerves are starting to show, and absolutely no one right there just missed. But it looked like the nerves are starting to show a little in this game 6.
Still, I mean, I don't blame them, right? It's finals of the West Finals. You're really, really high pressure. You're down in games. It's up to them to calm their nerves and find the way back in. As Weber playing a little aggressive, which kind of frightens me. Every time we see Weber play aggressive, they tend to get punished for it if they play too much. Weber's now almost finding the angle. CRF wants to go for the follow-up play, but the ball's in a weird position, so it's up to absolutely no one with the decent amount of boost they have to try and find an angle.
And CRF's low boost, he can't quite get the ball. He actually he's able to turn on that and get a touch to make him awkward. But Vertigo, low boost, he has to go low. Rivers with a big last stand on the goal line.
Yeah, it's UBC going back to the plays that have won them games before, the demo play, but Weber was ready for it this time. He popped up a little earlier and just decided to hover in the air to block. He didn't need a huge push, right? They just needed a tap away, and they got it. That being said, here comes the ball in a great position, and Vertigo finds the angle finally. Again, this coordinated long-term play always benefits UBC.
You know, they had great offensive pressure here, and Benji there gets a big 50 to pop in middle, and Vertigo is just hanging right there in the corner. It pops right down to him, and he just has an easy shot.
The pressure clearly showing in these players, not in terms of their gameplay per se, but in terms of the points, right? The players are less confident in going for these crazy, wacky plays. They want to make sure that the plays are insured and confident and good. as maybe a goal attempt there, but unfortunately will be blocked, so will absolutely no one be able to find a good potential. No, Rivers used all their boosts to get up, so Weber's in a bad position. None of their members are in a great position, and none of them having the most important resource in the game. A demo there as well coming out could spell disaster for Weber in this 6th game, unless they can claw it back together, hold strong, and find their way back onto the enemy side of the map.
Big. It's pop middle. No one's there, though. Vision's actually going to collect. He's going to go, has space on the wall. He's slowing it down. Makes absolutely no one jump. Gets bumps him back, actually, and it kind of helps him reset a little. He's actually going to be back on the wall to collect again and go again. He has lots of boost. Gets a flip reset. Doesn't use it, though. A little awkward. Now, on the other end, it's a little awkward. Rivers low boost. TRF needs a big 50, and he gets it.
Yeah, if you're a fan of UBC, you can know that anytime they stall the ball on the wall like that, it's very important. It's pretty much their most important play, because you know the other 2 members are immediately getting into position. As maybe we can find an angle, but the ball's pushed a little bit too far up with the assistance of a UBC member blocking it. Still, a lot of members of Weber going for these aggressive plays, the 3rd staying back to block it just in case. That being said, CRF goes up aggressive, finally saying that they're the one rotating forward to try and make a play. Absolutely no one deflects the ball off to the side. Can they push it forward? Looks like it'll just kind of stall off to the side, which again usually favors UBC, but Weber wants to play hyper-aggressive to deny that from being good.
And all of UBC, other than Benji, they're all pretty low in boost, so this could be a pretty big push if Weber can keep the pressure right here. It could be a really good play for Weber.
See if they can find it though. Weber with a decent amount of boost flying up, but unfortunately will miss the tap, which means a lot of the momentum Weber has is immediately evaporated. I mean, that's rough from Weber, right? You set up a lot of time making that play, slowly burning out the boost from UBC, and to have it whiff like that can be pretty rough, especially when you're down a point and time is ticking. But a good demo could end up helping there. With 1 minute and 14 seconds left, a goal from Weber would be huge.
And absolutely no one. He doesn't want to overcommit right there because he sees 2 men. He gets a big save on the goal line. So a huge play to keep them in this game. 1 minute left. We're going to need to see something from Weber.
I'll be honest, I don't know if we will. Oh, the goalpost once again being the 4th man for Weber, denying a potential secure victory in this 6th game. Folks, I know for many of you that have been watching our previous games, this is likely to go to a Game 7 if the past has anything to teach us. So I don't know if Weber can pull this back, but if they can, it'd be huge. Maybe a good push forward, but Vertigo in the perfect position to deny it.
Vertigo's low boost. He collects. Absolutely no one gets a 50 middle. A little awkward, though. A little too far for CRF to get. He actually misses. Could be a big counterattack for UBC. We're going to need something from Weber. They get a demo in the midfield, too. Absolutely no one needs a big clear here.
Unfortunately, it looks like they won't get it. They'll just pop it upwards. Hope that they can maybe do a bit more, as absolutely no one, with a good push forward, will finally get that push away that they needed. But still, Weber with 20 seconds left, and actually in a terrible position here. This could be a goal attempt as Benji goes for it, but will be blocked by Rivers with enough boost. Rivers has 11 seconds left. He has to send it all the way across. You can see the full speed push there just coming in. Weber wants to send this game into overtime to try and still clutch this out. But folks, if I think that is what it is, I'm pretty sure we're going to overtime.
They're up on the sidewall, pops in middle. Could be, but they're able to drop it, and that's Game 7 in the finals.
Sorry, I do not mean overtime, of course, folks. It's Game 7. The prophecy is fulfilled. I'm pretty sure Weber went to 7 games in almost every single playoff match they've played. Man, well, I'm just excited because at least the series has delivered. And importantly, Weber's momentum is killed with that game, right? UBC goes up 2-0. Then Weber goes 3-2, wins 3 in a row, and finally has that momentum denied at the last second. All right, folks. Clear it all from your mind. Of course, remember the plays, remember the styles of gameplay. But ultimately, the rest of the series can be foregone because it is all down to this game.
It's all or nothing. This is everything you've played for until this moment. It all comes down to this one game, this one 5 minutes. 5 minutes and your season's over. And, it's just so much intensity and so much on the line.
Of course, I think both teams can ultimately be proud with how far they've made it this semester, this season. They've done incredible jobs. And so whoever wins this series, of course, great series overall. But we've still got a game to play before we start handing out concessions and shaking hands, folks. We got to see who will be your NECC Winter Champion in the West. Can Weber take it, or can UBC pull the comeback as Rivers with an insane goal? I did not think that was going in.
And Rivers just sends it on target. No one's on that back post. Vertigo can't get there in time. Doesn't have the speed or momentum. And a big shot by Rivers to open the score in Game 7.
Folks, sometimes in some of these games, we've seen the first goal be the determining one. So already it's a huge play from Weber. Theoretically, they could just cause chaos for a while, and it would be great, right? If they cause chaos and deny goals for the next 4.5 minutes, they will win the finals. But unfortunately, Weber's not one to just sit around and have too much fun. They like to go for these crazy plays, and like you see there, almost succeeded. Another almost near goal attempt. That was insane. CUF going for it. Rivers in a good follow-up position, but can't do much.
And Long sent the other way. Rivers is there to collect. He needs a big 50 here. He's able to stay on the ball, so it's not too bad. Absolutely no one there. Sends it away. He's going to follow. Gets beat, though. Rivers is there, though. Pop it to himself. Gets a pinch middle. Trying to get the dunk here. Can't quite get it. Absolutely CRF now there to follow. Big pressure coming in from Weber. They're really trying to get that second goal here.
Yeah, Rivers has been the great denier of Weber this game so far. It feels like every time a play happens from UBC Gold, Rivers is ready and able to deny it, to push it away, to win a 50-50 or at least go even in one. As you can see there, again, popped up into the air. But unfortunately, with Benji having most of the boost, it's arguably the first 50-50 Rivers doesn't win. So can Weber turn it around as they do finally push it? That's been the one with a decent shot attempt, but won't find the repeat of Rivers' first goal.
And CRF of a shot on target, but Benji's there with low boost to send it away. He has no boost here. Rivers doesn't know that. He actually gets a 50, beats Rivers on the 50 there. Vision has a pass middle, pops it middle. No one's there to finish though. Rivers is there to collect on the sidewall. He needs a big clear. He gets bumped off it. Could be awkward for Weber.
Folks, make sure to check in with a doctor after this game, because I imagine if your heart rate's anything like mine, it is spiking over and over and over again. All these near goal attempts, these insane plays, the demos now. This is chaos, and I love it. Well, exactly what I want to see from a 7th game in our West Finals. It's multiple players missed the ball there. It just kind of stalls out a little bit toward the center.
Rivers is going to send it a long way. Absolutely no one almost gets onto the end of that to shoot it. Benji's there on the wall. He's low boost. He actually jumps off the wall a little bit nervous there, it looks like. Sends it middle. Rivers there, he gets beat by Vertigo. Awkward, could be bad for Weber. We need a big save. Pops it middle, no one's there for the shot though. CRF's jumping up the blocks, a shot that's not coming. And now we're seeing a little bit of nerves from both teams where Weber's jumping early, but no one's there for the shot on UBC.
Yeah, it looks like both teams just want to make plays, but they're so afraid. They know any play that goes wrong could determine finals here. So again, the pressure is absolutely there. They just have to make sure they stay calm enough. Ultimately, the onus is on UBC Gold, right? They've got to find this. Can they do it? Vertigo with no boost in an interesting position, maybe just trying to go for demos, but no, absolutely no one. Turning the game play around and getting an aggressive demo means that Rivers can get a good push forward. Is that going in the goal? No, it is not. It's hitting the backboard. Still, more than half the match time has evaporated in these plays. And here we are with 1 point still in Weber's lead and 0 for UBC Gold. Can Weber clutch it up? Oh, a goal that almost goes in. That was so close.
And Vertigo on the counter on the other end, a big 50 middle, but CRF's going to collect on the backboard. He's going to send it a long way. Doesn't quite have the boost. He fakes it under, and Rivers with the shot, and Benji misses, and it's going to go in by Rivers from the midfield.
Folks, that's your Weber State Rocket League captain right there. Finds the second goal of 2 in our finals here. That could be what determines the game. However, I'll still say it. Don't ever count anyone out until the last second of that timer ticks away and the ball hits the ground. As you can see right here, that's exactly why. I won't call that a caster curse because I was saying it could happen. Kickoff plays are always possible, and we've seen UBC Gold make insane fast plays in this series before. Oh boy, 2-1, a minute 30 left. Who knows, we could go into overtime. I mean, I don't think my heart can handle that, but let's see how it turns out.
And it could be another kickoff goal. It's sent wayward by Rivers. Absolutely no one pops it off the bar. Vision's there. He's going to collect. He goes off the ceiling, gets the flip reset, but absolutely no one gets a 50 middle. Benji's there. Rivers gets the 50, though, this time. Rivers on the sidewall. Rivers goes up. He gets a 50, but not great. Actually pinches away a little. CRF's going to have to collect in the midfield.
CF does very good at collecting in midfield and pops it up to absolutely no one who has a ton of boost to assist with it. Rivers once again being the denial of pushing constantly for UBC Gold. But without any boost, it looks like they will finally have to go back, recoup, and reset the play. 51 seconds left, folks. UBC Gold needs to find at least one more goal to send us to overtime.
We've seen Weber in this situation where they've needed a goal and they haven't been able to find it. And now it's seeming like UBC now is in the same situation and see if they can find it.
Weber just needs to not get too lost in the sauce, right? They've already got the game won. If they can stall, if they can wait, they don't need to go for flashy plays, but they don't care. It looks like they want to keep going for goals, and I respect it, showing that they do deserve this. It wasn't just singular plays, and absolutely no one with your third goal of finals and what could be the last.
And right there, we see a double commit on the goal line, both from Benji and Vertigo, and they're both low boost. They have nothing in the tank, and it pops middle, and absolutely no one just slots it into the bottom corner. Vertigo, no boost, he can't get there, and Weber State are 3-1 with 24 seconds left. Another kickoff attempt to steal another goal, but they don't get it this time.
I think for the first time in the series, I'm really seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm seeing how it could resolve. 15 seconds left. 2 goals have to come out just for overtime, and CRF manages to sneak it by. It looks like a member of UBC Gold won't find the tap. And folks, I'm pretty sure that's going to be your series, but one more goal for the road. No good denial from Vizion, showing that, hey, they're not going to let it go even to the last second. GG's, University of British Columbia Blue. But folks, Weber State is your NECC West Playoffs Finals winner.
What a series by Weber. To go down 2 games in the series and then fight back and win 3 straight in a row shows the fortitude that our players have, and like the mental fortitude. Like, we've seen every game they've played in these playoff games, they've gone to 7 and they've come out on top every time. The mental of Weber State is got to be the strongest in the league.
I would say so at this point. I think, yeah, what an insane series, folks. Wow. My heart can finally calm down. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. And of course, once again, GG's to University of British Columbia Gold. It was a phenomenal series. We hope to see you all tomorrow at 9 p.m., same time, for some League of Legends matches. Thank you, and have a good night.